Electricast.
Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Welcome into Missing the Point. It's Mike Marcangelo, joined alongside, again, by my guy, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, MTP Boston, Part 2. And we are talking about the Boston Celtics season opener and the pursuit for banner 18. I'd say that we asked for changes in the offseason, and they gave it to us, Ray. So Celtics go 4-1 in the preseason. What are your biggest takeaways from both the offseason and the preseason based on what you saw?
Well, the biggest takeaway is that everyone came away healthy. Like that's the biggest thing. Unfortunately, Jay Scrub had got his ACL torn, but he wasn't going to have a major role in this year's season. Obviously, you don't want to see guys get hurt and lose a year of their career, but for their core guys to be healthy and build that camaraderie really was the biggest takeaway for me. To see some more pick and rolls during this preseason, whether it was between Brown and Porziņģis, Tatum and Porziņģis, Tatum and Brown, Holiday and Porziņģis. Like there was a lot of different matchup nightmares that were presented in this preseason. And then obviously Payne Pritchard, coming back to what he was a little bit during his rookie year. He was amazing once he got that extension deal. So there's plenty of things to be excited about, but those are the few things that come to mind. We'll talk about some players in a minute, but seeing that, like, the biggest thing was that they came out the preseason healthy and they're ready to go starting Wednesday.
Yeah, I think for my biggest takeaways, I think it's easy to talk about, Porziņģis and Drew Holiday and the departure of Marcus Smart and Time Lord Rob Williams. They're gone. But I think the thing that stands out to me the most is what we talked about on this show and both internally and like our chat all last postseason was how Mazzulla just seemed like he needed coaches around him that A, he trusted, and B, had experience.
Right.
And boy does he have it now. For all the additions that they made on the floor, they made it on the bench too for the coaching staff.
Right.
So I think that's going to pay absolute dividends. Now you can say what you want about Jeff Van Gundy. The man's an experienced NBA coach. You can say what you want about what is his? Oh God, I forget his name. The guy from Milwaukee.
Oh, Charles Lee.
Yeah, like that is a great guy to have on the bench.
Yeah, he was Mike Budenholzer's assistant when they won the championship a couple years ago. So, and I think he was with him in Atlanta too. So,
and he gets Sam Cassell.
Right.
This is that they loaded that the coaching tree there, and I think we shouldn't have any more of the moments now. I think that Mazzulla is going to talk in hyperbolics in his press conferences like he always does about we need more feeling and connectivity, all that shit, whatever. What I don't think he'll say this year is I would rather them take a 3 as opposed to a layup, because I think all that's going to matter is efficiency on the offensive front this year. And I think there's this sense between, I would say less educated Boston Celtics viewers as you, that you may feel like you can just outscore everybody, but we know that that's not going to happen in the postseason.
Right.
So you need to play efficiently, which would lead me to like my first question. Do you think that the defense is going to take a step back this year because now that they've lost the ability to have the double big lineup?
So I think we'll still see the double big lineup at times. So, when they face Denver or when they face, the Milwaukee's of the world, obviously when they face Philly, there'll be stretches that they see that. And even against Miami, I think at times they'll have those moments where they have that lineup. I think initially it'll take some adjusting because this 5 is still learning to play with one another outside of Holiday outside of Brown, White, and Tatum. So we'll just see how that goes. But I mean, their defense looked pretty good in the preseason, especially in that finale against Charlotte, where they won by 28. They were up by 40 at one point, and everybody on their team except for Porzingis can switch from 1 to 5 on their starting 5. And Porzingis moves well enough laterally, to stay in front of his guy, and then he recovers and gets this block shot. And I want to say this because I've been hoping that this clip will come back up. Whatever, I'll say it again because it's relevant for this conversation. Mike said in our group chat. Mike said it. He wrote to me individually. He even said it on the show some months ago. And some of us, including me, scoffed at it when he said, if you are going to switch it up and we get somebody different, yeah, he's kind of injury prone, but he's talented. Go get Porzingis. And we were like, what? We was like, 1, that's a pipe dream. 2, he's injury prone. And 3, it's a pipe dream. And then June comes, I forget what date it was, but in June, and a 3-team trade, the Boston Celtics trade for Kristaps Porziņģis, and I'm like, oh my God, his premonition came true, So it's just like I want to take that moment to give you that take, your flowers for that take, because once again, I don't there's not too many that foresaw that coming, whether you're tuned into them or not, and Brad Stevens had the thinking that you had is okay. Shit, we haven't had this here, and the guy that's 7'3", that can score from the inside, score from the outside, can be a playmaker when need be, can change the defense, be a rim protector. That they had a Rob, but he's bigger than Rob height wise. So yeah, there's so many things he's going to be able to open up for this team. So I had to make sure that once again on this show, you were someone that called it out early when it was not the popular choice to make. So I'm like that's kudos to you on that. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see him. Like, he's been killing it, man. He's been killing it. I don't know, you put it in your notes. I did not realize that he had been scoring. Or not scoring. I didn't realize that he had been shooting 61% of the field. That's fucking insane. It's crazy.
The final game brought it down. When we talk about Porzingis, right?
Yeah.
We talked about earlier about what players stuck out to us the most in the preseason. I jotted down Porzingis because through the first 4 games of the preseason that he played, he averaged 16 points a game while shooting 60% from the field and 60.8% from 3.
Crazy.
And now he finished with just above 55% from the field and just under 50% from 3 after the final game. But I think those are all the things that he brings stat wise. The things that he won't bring stat wise, but that you're absolutely going to see is the spacing that he gives to the Jays. I mean,
yep.
This should be LeBron, all of them, they all broke out for real in their 7th year, right? So this should be the year where we see Jaylen Brown absolutely, smash that ceiling. He's the highest paid player in the league right now. That's going to change for a while. In the next contract that comes up,
it might have changed today.
Might have changed.
What I'm saying is deal.
Wasn't that 3 year? Was that 3 year, 108 million?
186 mil. Crazy
for 3, right?
3 years, yeah, insane.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess
sorry. So it's a 3 year on top of the 2 years he had left. So it's really 5 years, whatever the whole deal.
Yeah.
Is. So it may be around the same.
Yeah, but I think that the spacing that Porzingis is going to allow Brown to have should negate some of the turnovers that we saw in crunch time in the postseason last year, because the lane should not be as crowded, especially when he's going to his left, if Porzingis is out on the wing, right? So that should help. And I think Tatum's just going to fucking feast down low this year. I think, and he's not afraid. I don't think he's going to be, if he's been timid before, but last season we saw him actually drive the paint and go to the basket. That should just be exemplified more this year. So that's the player that I focused on, and I just think, and on top of all the things that he's going to do that will show up on a stat sheet, the things that won't, they're going to be so noticeable that this team, we should be the first, the number 1 team in the East when it's all said and done.
So Honestly, I mean, we'll get into predictions for the first couple games and even for the regular season. I talked about it with DK a few weeks ago. I have a slight change in my because I think I said 65-17 on a show with him a few weeks ago. So I have a slight change to that. We'll get into why I have that later on. So that's a big market tease there.
There is.
But to add on to what Porziņģis has done, he changes shots at the rim, right? Not necessarily not always going to get blocked because you're not always going to block everyone shots in the NBA. But dudes are thinking twice. Like I've seen guys that I know for sure have dunked it on a few people, came down the lane, they see him there, they circle back out. So that split second that they're going back out to the 3-point line, that changed the defense. So now if you're down and there's 5 seconds left in the shot clock and you got to dribble back out, now you might have just called a 24-second violation because they were scared to go up. So that's it's about saving possessions, and I think that's where he's going to be the most helpful. I'm excited for Jrue Holiday as well. I think that he was a little bit he was a little too unselfish in the preseason, but once again, I think he's just really trying to get acclimated to looking at to see where everybody wants. Once again, we need him to get 19. I feel like, and I know people say, well, no, they're going to score. No, I want 4 guys getting 15 or more a night. And once again, Derek White did the odd man out because he's still going to get you 12 a night. And I'm excited to see him and Holiday, excuse me, be that defensive backcourt. I think they're going to be phenomenal on most nights. Once again, there's going to be certain nights where there's a guy that tortures them. You're just like, how is this happening? But they're professionals. Guys are going to get theirs eventually. Someone like Jordan Poole is going to get 40 one night, and you're going to be like, how did this happen? But I'm like, when you get hot, you get hot. So, but yeah, like I said, Porziņģis, Holiday, even some guys off the bench. So I'm excited to see how they end up meshing together as a starting unit, and then obviously as a second unit.
So along those lines for the second unit, right? What does the second unit look like for you right now? Just what let's just say everybody's healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what our starting five is going to be. What do you think that second unit's going to be? Are we going to be surprised at any point throughout the season where an unnamed or an unknown person steps up and we're like, wow, why don't they want to get more playing time?
So I feel like, because I think we labeled it 7 through 10. We talked about who should be 7 through 10. We know what the top 6 are. So 7 is Horford, right? 7 is Horford. 8's Pritchard, right? 9, depending on the night, to me should be either Hauser or Lamar Stevens. And then 10 should be O'Shea Brissett. Where Jordan Walsh right now is like a fringe rotation guy right now. He didn't have a great showing in the preseason. I know he did well during summer league, but I still think that the game is moving a little too fast for him right now, which is okay. He's going to have his moments to be up in Maine and play with J.D. Davison and Nehemias Queta, and that's another guy I forgot about. Queta's another guy I feel like won some hearts over during training camp. So, but yeah, so Horford, Pritchard, either Knight or I forgot what I just said after that, but Hauser or Lamar Stevens, and then at 10 should be like either Walsh or Brissett.
So you don't think that Luke Kornet's going to be a factor, or should be in 7 through 10? So
should he be though? Like, and
I'm not asking you.
No, but I'm saying not saying that he's a scrub. I just feel like I guess it depends on the opponent. I guess it depends on the foul trouble as well. I think on nights that Al Horford's not playing the back-to-back, you'll see Luke Kornet a little bit more. Because he knows the coverages, and once again, he's formidable enough that he can get you 10 to 12 minutes and you not lose a whole lot. But to be honest, I'd rather see Nehemias Queta out there. I think defensively he's better than what Kornet is. Once again, Kornet's more of a punch offensively, because Kornet can finish at the rim a little bit better than Queta at this moment, and he can shoot the 3 if need be. So I feel like that's a fringe. He's a fringe guy. And once again, it depends on the night, whether it be for Queta or Kornet. once again, maybe they view Kornet differently than what I'm saying here on the show. I just know for me, he wouldn't go before those 10, those 4 or 5 guys that I mentioned. Not every night, anyways.
And you also mentioned that you feel like the game is still going a little bit too fast for Jordan Walsh, right? Do you think that is that more on the offensive side or on the defensive side? Because I think what we talked about at perfect. So what we talked about after the draft in the first couple of games of summer league was, people are going to score their points there, but we were surprised and impressed by his defensive prowess. So do you think he could still be a factor defensively early in the season, or do you think it's going to take some time?
So the defense is there. Once again, it's NBA players. There's gonna be nights where he looks like me out.
Like a rookie. Yeah.
He's going to get cooked for sure. In the words of Adrian Broner. But yeah, he's there. He's gonna get in the passing lanes. He's long. He has that 7'2" wingspan for a guy that's 6'8". So yeah, I do think if you need a guy to steal 5 to 7 minutes at the wing position to rest Tatum and Brown, and once again, they got to talk to Tatum early on. I don't want Tatum playing more than 34 minutes a night. I don't. I don't want Brown playing more than 34 minutes a night. As a matter of fact, I don't want anybody on the starting 5 playing more than 34 minutes a night. I want them all playing 34 and under. So we can get between 29 and 34. And once again, take the shit seriously. The opponents you need to smack on a regular basis, you should be looking to be out the game at the fourth quarter, and you just go from there. Like that's what it should be. Like you should be up by 30 at the end of 3. So you say, okay, we're on to the next town. Like that's what it should be. Because that's how other guys get better. Because when they're playing for the whole tournament, like, oh, okay, I'm getting playing time. I can do this, I can do that. So that's how you play your roster develop. Beat up your opponent so badly in 3 quarters that it won't matter by the time it gets to the fourth quarter. And I feel like we're gonna see many a nights like that. But like I said, to end on the point about Walsh, the defense is there. I just think that, hopefully he starts to catch down offensively so we can at least get layups out of him. We're not worried about the corner 3 as much, but he's someone that can get to the lane at will because of his length.
All right, so regular season predictions. Ray, I think we've kind of tossed out some numbers, and how we felt, and I think it's natural to look at the starting 5, and let's just assume everybody stays healthy for the entirety of the season,
right?
And to say 65 games is doable, right?
Yep.
I'll ask you first. Where do you think they're going to finish this year?
So on the show I did with DK, like I said 65-17. I was like, they should run through everybody. So I was super bullish. So he was like 82, and I was like, right, like I'm with you. Like we were super bullish. I think this was right after the holiday trade we did that show. So we were super excited. We were already set up for Porzingis, but it was like, oh, we got a holiday too. Like it's a wrap. I'm gonna push my prediction back 5 games. So I still think they win 60 games. I think they go 60 and 22. So I'm essentially looking for them to go 15-5 4 different times. And that makes it sound simple, but I think that's just what it is. Or even to match the 08-09 team that went 62-20. I think they have those type of vibes. So yeah, I think that's where. But yeah, I'll cement the number and say 60 and 22.
So I get 59 and 23.
Okay.
I think that now, but I do think that they late in the season they'll be in a position where they could let their foot off the gas, or they're going to need to win more games to get that number 1 seed. Because I know the Bucks, they got Dame. I still, as a ignorant, you can call me an ignorant basketball fan, I don't fear that team. Still, I don't know why. I like how we match up against him. I also think that Drew Holiday's gonna have a lot to fucking prove against the Bucks. He's gonna take that shit personally. I think that for the majority of Tatum and Brown's career against Milwaukee, they've been close series for sure, but we've come out the victor more than we haven't. So if Milwaukee wins 59 games, then we're gonna win 60. I think it's gonna be that, but I'm gonna stick with the 59 and 23, 2 games better than they were last year. Yeah. I think it's a great season. But the only thing I truly care about, I'm going to make sure that this is said now, here, October 23rd, 4th, or 5th, whenever it's fucking released. I don't care if they finish 50-32 if everybody's healthy. I don't care.
No, facts.
Do what you need to do to get a home court advantage. Although this team at home during the playoffs the last 3 years, I think, have a losing record.
They won most of it. So I think about even last year's playoffs, except for the Philadelphia series, or even the last 2 years. You think about Brooklyn, they ended on the road.
Yeah.
Who did they play in the second round? Milwaukee, it was at home. Miami 2 years ago on the road. This year, Atlanta on the road.
They beat Golden State.
I don't know. I trust, especially Tatum. I trust him on the road now. Like I've seen enough. Yes, there'll be moments when I'll be annoyed with how some games are being played or whatever. But Jayson Tatum on the road saying, I need you to get one game from me, has proven you're going to get his best punch every single time. Philly found out. Miami has found out. Brooklyn has found out. So to me, on the road where you need to silence the crowd, I fully trust Jayson Tatum to get that part done. But I wanted to go back briefly before we close this one out. Because I know we still have some games to talk about later on this week because they have two games, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. I want to emphasize a little more on Jrue Holiday, right? So we're gonna take you back on the time travel back to 1983. The Celtics had already won the championship with Larry Bird. They had lost the 7 games in 82 to the Philadelphia 76ers, who lost to the Lakers that year, and then in 83. They got swept in the second round by the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't remember what the papers were saying, but I'm sure they were panicking, saying what's wrong with the Celtics, what's going on. They get a guy from Seattle who had been a champion a few years before. His name was Dennis Johnson. They come back the next year. They run through the Lakers. They beat the Lakers in 7. They were 4 straight finals after that, winning 2 of them. Should have been 3, but Mikhail got hurt. Once again, that's not an opinion, that's a fact. So I'm hoping for Jrue Holiday to be the modern day Dennis Johnson for us. Because if he is, you can book it that this team is winning the NBA championship. And I know that sounds crazy for those that's hearing. I want you to go back and watch Dennis Johnson, watch the Seattle highlights when they won in the late 70s against Washington, I believe. Watch what he did here in Boston. Watch what he did with the Clippers later in his career. If Jrue Holiday could be what Dennis Johnson was at that time for a team that just needed a little nudge, right? Obviously, that team already won. Obviously, this other team, they won the championship, but they had been to a finals. They've been knocking at the door. If he could be that guy, will be similar to what Dennis Johnson was, you can rest assured at the end of the season, you'll be hearing Mike Breen saying, you're 2024 NBA champions for the 18th time, you're Boston Celtics.
Love that.
Yeah,
love that fucking intensity. And I also love when you say you don't remember what the papers were saying. It's because you weren't going to be born for another 8 years, but that's fine. Like whatever, Ray. Sorry you couldn't remember that. The Celtics open up the season against the Knicks Wednesday night, and then they also play the fucking Miami Heat later this week. Why don't you give me a little preview of what to expect for the next game?
It's gonna be physical. Like it's Thibodeau. Like it doesn't matter if it's game 1 or game 70. A Thibodeau-led team is going to be physical. And once again, they haven't really played their starters in the preseason. Evan Fournier is out here trying to look like prime MJ in the preseason. Even though I expect to see him on the floor as much. But guys like Quickly and Randall, obviously we know they know what they have in Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. They play us hard. I expect us to win Wednesday night, but I think it's going to be a knock them down, drag them out type fest for the first game. And I feel like we'll win a low scoring one, or by today's standard, low scoring. I said they win 196 on Wednesday night. And you can talk about your predictions for Wednesday, and then we'll get into Friday.
Honestly, I hope the Celtics aren't doing what I'm already doing and overlooking the Knicks and just focusing on the Heat. I think that you just need to make sure that you limit RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. You don't let them push you around. If you do that,
Right.
and you showcase that 7'3" monster that you have now that can shoot 45 to 50% from threes, I think you should handle this. Yes, I think Tibb is a tough coach. He always plays us very, very well. Whether it was with Chicago and now with the Knicks, but they should win this game. I think it's going to be. I think defense doesn't really take precedence in the first 10 games of the year for the NBA. It's usually high scoring. So I could actually see this game being more like 120, 113 in favor of the Celtics.
Okay.
And then all eyes are on Miami. Now Miami doesn't care about this game because they beat us in June, or they beat us in late May, early June. Like, they know that they have our.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, because
I think that they know that they live in our heads rent free year round. It doesn't matter.
Right, and I think they're looking to say, regardless of the time, regardless of the place, I'm better than you, and you know it. Did that just for you. Yeah. So they that's where they're at. And they're saying, "Oh, y'all forgot about us because we lost out on Drew, we lost out on Dame,
Thank God.
Lost out on Brad Beal." So they're saying, "Okay, let's prove the doubt is wrong." I firmly believe that Miami wins Friday night. I do. Because they have the chemistry edge right now, and that's just what it is. So I'll be there. I'll be there Friday night. Hoping to see otherwise, but I firmly believe that Miami wins Friday night against us.
That shouldn't happen though. Like, Kyle Lowry in his 15th year, like, he should not be on a team that beats us.
Yeah, but we got to throw our logic against that team because they defy all logic. We've seen it. Like, it doesn't matter. There's a kid who they pick up off the waivers from Orlando. Oh, RJ Hampton. RJ Hampton, for those that listen to this, he was a lottery pick a few years back. I forget which year. I want to say it was 2018 or 2019. RJ Hampton was a bucket coming out of I think it was school. I don't know if he was in high school. No, it wasn't high school. I think he was in college. RJ Hampton was a bucket. Gets to Orlando, he kind of fades away off into the sunset. Now, on the Miami Heat, out of nowhere, dude was looking like he did in college. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, how do they keep doing this? How did they keep getting guys from other teams that were washed up, that haven't done anything, and then he comes in there looking like prime MJ? It's unbelievable. So once again, I just firmly believe that they continue to find, I don't know what's in the water down there. They continue to figure out a way to get the best out of guys and motivate guys. So I'm just excited for that game Friday. But like I said, I firmly believe Miami finds a way to get it done. I feel like it'll be a tight game. I'll say they'll win like 110, 106, something like that. They'll make Jimmy will make a three at the end. You're like, oh my God, here we go. And that's what it'll be. I just
don't let RJ Hampton or Caleb Martin be the reason that you lose. Like, don't you. We saw Caleb in the postseason. I as we were watching him, I said in the chat, sign him. Pay him whatever he needs to, because he had balls. Like, that's what he has. Like, he just has fucking guts. And I think that's what's in the water down there, right? And no matter what, Eric Spoelstra gets his team to play and gets them to believe that nobody gives a shit about them and always writes them off, which we do. And then they're always in the conference finals or semifinals. Fucking wild.
Right. No, facts. I could have said it better myself. So, you can't write them off. Once again, they are collectively a bunch of Geno Smiths. They try to write me off. I didn't write back. That's the perfect way to describe Miami Heat. So they'll be there. And once again, they're going to show up Friday night because, like I said, they want to prove that anytime, any place, we own you, and that's how they feel. So they're going to come and try to show that on Friday night. You can rest assured of that.
So you heard it here first. Hollywood Ray has Celtics after 2 at 1-1. and then he needs them to go 15-2 4 more times, and we're there. Anything else you want to talk about before we hit the road?
No, I'm just excited. I know as they got Washington, I think on Monday. So when we do a show next week, we'll talk about their game against Washington. But no, like I said, Celtics fans, you should be excited. I said we're gonna do some Bruins content coming up as soon as well. Once again, kudos to them for not having the hangover, and it'd been very easy to have a hangover after what happened last year.
I don't care.
They come out the gate swinging. Well, no, I mean they could have been 0-5, and fans still would have been. Once again, no one's going to be satisfied until they at least get back to the finals and if not win it. But who knows? Once again, I'm totally fine with them being a 4th or 5th seed and having a long
yes.
Yes, I'm totally fine with that. But I'm not going to sit here and be mad about a 5-0 start. I'm not.
Nope.
And that's an excellent start. And once again, the goaltending has been strong again. It's funny what a healthy goaltender does. Happy at the end, and we lost because of it. But yeah, we'll have more content about that soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah, they're like 70-15 in the last regular season, and in their last 85 regular season games. But they're 3-4 in their last 7 postseason games. That's all that matters. So, but we will talk more about them because now I feel like they're on the radar, and this is the best time of the year, ladies and gentlemen. We got Celtics are back, Bruins are back, Red Sox are gone, and the Patriots actually might make a season out of this. So until next week, for Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, this is Michael Marcangelo saying thank you so much for listening to NTP Boston. We'll talk to you later.
Welcome to Ringside with Ray and Prince. My name is Ray Leonard Jr.
Oh, is that the set? No, that's just my dad.
My name is Prince Daniels Jr.
Daniels again with a big home touchdown.
On this show, we come to humanize
Athletes, entertainers, business executives. We're going to see what makes them tick.
Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll see you there. Peace and power.
Electric acid.
Hey there, I'm DC. I host the rock podcast Back to the Arena, The Interviews. It's about a 30-minute podcast where I talk one-on-one with a band who has released new music. You can find us on all the best podcast sites like Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and more. If you're a rock fan like me, subscribe today to Back to the Arena, The Interviews.
Electric acid. Electric acid.